Hey all you webheads, it's me, Mike Matthews. It's been a while since I've recorded one of these videos. We got really busy there towards the end of the school year, but I'm happy to report that the school year is over, at least for the students. I have 2 more days in my classroom to clean up. I just wanted to let you know that I had my DPass Component 5 evaluation review on Friday with my principal. And for those who don't know, DPass Component 5 is the piece of our evaluation where student test scores are taken into account. So a portion of my teacher evaluation is how my students perform on standardized tests. And the results were a little disheartening. We're rated based on 2 measures. The first measure, Measure A, is DCAS. That's the state standardized test. The second, Measure B, is an assessment that we, as a team of 4th and 5th grade reading teachers, chose to give. So our team chose to use the STAR reading from the Accelerated Reader program to show growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So that's our Measure B assessment. On DCAS, I just barely made satisfactory. In order to get a satisfactory rating on your DCAS, between 50 and 64% of your students have to show proficiency. 50% of my 4th and 5th graders showed proficiency. So I made satisfactory there. I made unsatisfactory on my Measure B STAR reading tests, perhaps because we set too lofty of a goal, saying that all students had to show growth throughout the year. I was rated unsatisfactory on the Measure B. So satisfactory Measure A, satisfactory Measure B, that made me unsatisfactory overall in Component 5. And I just fear that this is going to happen to many teachers, and they're going to be labeled with this unsatisfactory rating based on standardized test scores. And it just points to the overall contention that I have when we include student test scores on our professional evaluations. So many of our teachers work in schools where students typically don't perform well on standardized tests. These are schools with high numbers of free and reduced lunch, high numbers of behavioral problems, issues at home that aren't taken into account when these tests are taken, whereas students who and faculty at perhaps more affluent schools don't face these challenges, and the tests for them are a little easier. I will say my principal, in using his discretion, was ready to bump me up. He was ready to bump me up to a satisfactory rating. I told him no. I said, I'm going to play this game. According to the system, I am labeled an unsatisfactory teacher based on my students' test scores. I think by giving the principal the discretion to bump up someone to a satisfactory rating, which is what all principals have that authority to do, they have that discretion, I think it gives an out for an already ridiculous and inappropriate system that evaluates teachers. So I have decided to remain unsatisfactory. Where that will take me, I don't know. But I hope it gets a conversation started, because this continued environment of rating teachers based on test scores is offensive and ineffective, and it needs to change.